Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Thursday, September 12th, 2024, on this day of the Hearthkeeper and the Tradesman. It is Jupiter's Day, Thor's Day, the 22nd of Virgo, the 10th of Vine, the 22nd of Bear, and the 13th of Tumandir. In our astrology, the sun is in Virgo, mutable earth, representing industry. The moon is second quarter Capricorn, cardinal earth, representing tradition. Mercury is in Virgo, mutable earth, representing linguistic skill. Venus is in Libra, cardinal air, representing harmony. Mars is in Cancer, cardinal water, representing seeking security. Jupiter is in Gemini, mutable air, which represents questing. Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is to redefine dreams. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, fixed earth, representing rebellion. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is about spiritual awakenings, and Pluto is retrograding in Capricorn, cardinal earth, representing transformations. For our retrograde reminders, in Saturn, reclaim your authority. For Uranus, reconsider how you rebel. For Neptune, reclaim your magic. For Pluto, reclaim your ability to regenerate. And for Chiron, restore the heroic spirit. We are in a waxing gibbous moon, which means that it's time for us to cultivate our intentions. And for the Capricorn moon, do remember to strategize, organize, and do some planning. The don'ts are dealing with the issues of delicate relationships, coming into conflict with enforcement agencies, and being coldly strategic. So, our adventurous Jupiter, especially since it's in Gemini, it might feel just a tiny bit inhibited by the Capricorn moon and even become impatient as the lunar energy is encouraging forethought and planning, all very tedious, tiresome things when Jupiter just wants to go off on an adventure. However, once you actually do get on the road, the preparations that Capricorn and the moon encourage you to make, it will make those quests all the more successful. So, a little bit of tedium and suffering through that and tending to those details now, it will reap you benefits later on today. Then for today's tarot, we have the Six of Wands. The number six represents stage two. Wands as a suit represent the emotional, masculine, projective energy, the fire element, and desire or drive. And the keywords for this particular card are victory, danger of hubris, and distinguishing oneself. And you can really see all of those keywords coming into play when you look at the imagery of this card. We have our victor. He's holding a wand, this gigantic staff. He also is holding this little circlet, what I would imagine are laurel leaves, and he's standing on top of whatever it is that he has conquered. He has been victorious. There is a danger of it going to his head, and he has certainly distinguished himself amongst his peers. And so, using this energy as it's floating around in the Air Force today, I think we can use it to great benefit to really pursue our goals and to press our point home to where we can actually win, to where we can have our own kind of victory. And as long as we have a dose of modesty and humility in with that, we don't get too caught up on like, look what I did. Aren't I the greatest thing since sliced bread? If we can avoid doing that, we're not going to fall into the trap of hubris. We will still have our moment in the sun to shine. And most importantly of all, we can get done what needs to be done today. Next up, the Celtic triad of the day. It reads three things which bring on a person a bad opinion: being apt to dally with youth, being greedy in dainties, and speaking ill of their neighbors. So youthful pursuits, while I'm sure all of us remember our youth with, some fondness about, the fun we were able to have. Nevertheless, it's not exactly the most productive way to spend the time. And there is a time in your life for such things, but it's unbecoming in an adult to indulge in that too much. And of course, if there's an adult who's hanging around young people for unwholesome intentions, we'll put it that way, of course, that just doesn't just create a bad opinion around that person. It creates active, warranted suspicion about whether or not they are actually posing a danger to them. So that's something to keep in mind. Then next up, the matter of being greedy in dainties. I think it's a good thing to appreciate well prepared food, compliments to the chef and all that. But if that appreciation of food actually twists into gluttony, it reflects poorly on a person, it can destroy their health, and it just nothing really good comes of it. All things in their place and in balance. And then with speaking ill of their neighbors. Nobody likes malicious gossip. Such a person is not going to be a steady friend in times of trouble, or even when times are good for that matter. And you also can't trust them with even the most ordinary of information for fear they twist it and turn it into something else. And then, a tale is told, it goes through, the telephone of human communications, and then it's distorted beyond all recognition. And then suddenly you're in a position of you're having to essentially prove your innocence, which can't prove a negative, by the way, and, damage is done at that point. Damage is done. And so it isn't without reason that the people who tend to be a bit more gossipy and small minded and who are very quick to speak badly of other people, there's a reason why, other people start shying away. It's out of self preservation as much as anything else. Now, today's magical correspondences are centered on the theme of peace. The color is turquoise, the plant is the cinnamon, and the animal is lizard, and the crystal is turquoise. Now, peace, of course, doesn't just happen automatically. It is cultivated. It is something that you have to tend. You have to actively choose to have that within yourself. It's not going to be gifted upon you, and the rest of the world is not going to arrange its affairs so that you have the automatic natural environment where you can be peaceful. Peace is something that you have to make happen. Then in today's practice, what is a cozy autumn evening composed of for you? Now, you see the picture that constitutes my ideas. A few little treats, a little bit of wine, in the outdoors, enjoying the autumnal air. That is a very cozy autumn evening for me. Just being outside, enjoying nature, enjoying some good company, having a little something to nibble on, a little something to drink on. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But it could be something quite different for you because, we're all different and we all have, kind of our different ideas and notions of coziness. So think about what that really is for you. And then, of course, the point of thinking about it is to try to create something of that sort at home so that, what makes it enjoyable autumn evening for you, it isn't just conceptual for you. It's something that you can actually do. Then next up, what lesson can your natal Jupiter sign learn from the current Jupiter position? Then today we're looking at the throat chakra, and I'm asking the question, is it easier or harder for you to speak your mind in this season? And maybe unpack a little bit about why that might be. And then today's hermetic principle is rhythm. Have you found your rhythm this season? I mean, it's one thing to observe kind of the ebb and flow that is surrounding us, but where do we fit in with that? Are we fitting in with it at all? Are we resisting the tide? Are we going with the tide? Are we trying to rush the tide? What is our relationship with that? That'll help us better understand the part that rhythm really does have to play when it comes to how energy functions. And then the Witch's Pyramid. Today we're looking at the North Wall, which, as a reminder, is related to the earth element and to material action. Uh, is taking action easier for you now? I think I better get something to drink. Okay. This is a busy time of year, even for people who may not have grown a garden or whose garden did not exactly produce the results they were hoping for. It's still a lot going on. People have a lot of kids going back to school. There's a general up tempo of things that are getting up and going again. So, are you finding it easier to make decisions, put them into action, uh, just to go out and actually do things? Is it easier for you or is it harder right now? Why do you think that might be? All things worth contemplating. And then for today's journal prompt, we have a home office that's decked out in some autumn finery. And the question is, have you gotten your affairs in order for this season? I'm not talking about, the final end of life affairs in order. We're not talking about that. It's about having a plan for what you want to accomplish and what you want to experience this season. Do you have that all taken care of, or is it time to sort things out? And there's nothing like journaling about it. That'll help you come up with, maybe your own bucket list or things that, I really do need to take care of this, or I want to bring this project to an end. Whatever it is that you have going on, seeing it written down, there's something about it that's just halfway there to a plan. And then from a plan, then you can take action. And then by the time winter rolls around, you can look back on this season and say, I got to do stuff. I took care of a lot of things and I got to have a lot of fun. So it's just setting yourself up for success is all this is really intended to accomplish. And on that note, I hope everyone has a very magical, wonderful day. The Blackbird Grimoire is appearing on YouTube and Rumble. And those who would care to, you are invited to join the Oak and Elder Witchery on the Gilded. There's a link for that in the description box. And I think that does it for today. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.